All right. Shalom. Most high in Christ bless. Happy Sabbath to everybody tuning in across the globe. All praises to the Most High in Christ. We're back again live for another quick topic. You folks, make sure you have a 1611 King James Bible. Make sure you are taking notes, okay? Because once again, as we keep saying, you are still living in biblical times, and you have to conduct yourself according to the words of God. Some folks are realizing it, as you can see out there in the world. All these folks are caught up into politics, voting, and all kind of other things. They are the ones that are in very close danger, all right? Because the Bible says righteous shall scarcely be saved. And somebody righteous is just trying to follow Christ in the keeping of the commandments, all right? Striving for that. So you folks make sure that you get ready, quiet people down or whatever. We're going through a quick topic. Today's topic, all right? Dangerous place to fall. A dangerous place to fall. The multitude of contentions, okay? Now, think about this. You have the Most High is in control of all things. We went over that last night. You have politics running high, not just in the United States. See, you folks, if you're a watchman, you're watching all over the place. In India, chaos is going on too, all right? Behind democracy, behind politics. What does the Bible say? Because a lot of times you, let me call it educated Jakes, educated Negroes, all right? You folks who went to school and everything else to do your studies. Okay. When you start to put things together, your mind is formulating on how the world sees it. That's why when you look at democracy, it has the illusion like it's something that can govern society. That's what the illusion is, okay? It's an illusion. And the reason why it's an illusion, because what really governs society is laws. And you see that even in this election. What they keep saying, we're going to go to court. If your vote counted exclusively, how could they trump your vote by going to court? We'll wait. I'm going to say it again very slow, because you have some people who not processing. You put in a vote, your vote's supposed to count. How is it that they can go to court and then win an election or override your vote if your vote counts? They're not realizing it's a dangerous place to fall. You are trusting in an illusion. Let's open up with 2nd Ezra, chapter 7. We're going to start right at verse 1. We're going to move through this kind of quick, folks. So, Lord's will, you go back. We're broadcasting on a multitude of platforms right now, from YouTube to from Facebook, Twitter, or whatever it's called. A lot of different platforms we're on, simulcasting it for folks to be able to tune in, because what they like to do is cut our videos off. So you got to navigate through this, all right, because they're trying to cut off truth. And we know that the truth will never be cut off. According to the scriptures, the truth endureth forever. All right. 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 1.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 1. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel, which had been sent unto me the night afore.
So when you are the spiritual people, and you're operating underneath underneath a different system. Israel operates underneath the heavenly system. The children of men operate underneath earth system, this playing field. So as you start to understand the Bible, you start realizing, wait a minute, there's divine intervention happening. There's all kind of stuff happening in this book. And they'll make it out to be a fairy tale, or they'll make money off of it with movies and stuff. But when you really take a step back and understand the God, he's dealing with the children of Israel and guiding all things. So now with Ezra, who, once again, a lot of you folks don't even realize that in the 1611 edition King James Bible, which is the authorized version, the 100% version, why you think they taking words out and everything else, twisting it? They have a book in here that points out that another Israelite, all right, Esdras, the Lord chose just as he did with Moses, all right, to be able to give him some knowledge, okay, on the same level. He said he manifests himself in the bush, and he's going to deal with, as he dealt with Moses, he showed him some similitudes. Now, pay attention to this. This is very important. Read on.
Verse 2. And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place.
So the Bible is written in a way, because it's written in the presence of our enemies, that is using similitudes, analogies, and everything. For sea, right in your notes, the sea is talking about the multitude of people. You know that when you go into the book of Revelations. Matter of fact, let's go there real quick. Make sure we still is not frozen, because I don't know what's happening. Revelation chapter 21 and verse 1. I'll go there first.
The Revelation, chapter 21 and verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven.
So when you look at it, it says it was no more sea. The multitude of people that is bunched together, the Bible is comparing that as well as to a sea, okay? And he says there was no more sea, meaning the Most High got rid of a lot of people, all right? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Go back to Esdras. We're running through it real quick.
Second Esdras, chapter 7 and verse 3. And I said, Speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great.
So the sea was set in a wide place. What does that mean? What does it mean the sea is set in a wide place? Go to Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7, verse 13.
St. Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 13.
Come on.
Enter ye in at the straight gate.
Straight meaning difficult. Enter ye in at the straight gate. Come on.
For wide is the gate.
For what?
Wide is the gate.
So the Bible is showing you wide is the gate. The Lord is saying this. Wide is the gate. Come on.
Broad is the way.
Broad is the way. Come on.
That leadeth to destruction.
That leadeth to destruction. So if you are in a doctrine like such as Christianity, you have a wide, broad way of living. You don't mind voting for, just any, it sounds good. You got the seed, vote for them, and not realizing you outside of the will of God. Now we're going to show you this. Go to the video. We're going to show you something. It's the ABC News video. This was from a couple months ago. All you folks that voted, I'm going to ask you a question after this. It's from the ABC video. I think I sent it to you earlier. Okay. Let's go.
Mika Hack. She's from State College, Pennsylvania. This is your first presidential election that you're voting.
Yes.
Hi, Mika. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm the proud mom of 2 girls, 8 and 10. My youngest daughter is transgender. The Trump administration has attacked...
Yeah, pause it. Pause it, y'all. Yeah, some of y'all can't hear. Hang on for a second. Hang on. Yeah.
of transgender people, banning them from military service.
Rewind it, please.
Weakening non-discrimination.
Half. She's from State College, Pennsylvania. This is your first presidential election that you're voting. Hi, Mika. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm the proud mom of 2 girls, 8 and 10. My youngest daughter is transgender. The Trump administration has attacked the rights of transgender people. Weakening non-discrimination protections and even removing the word transgender from some government websites. How will you, as president, reverse this dangerous and discriminatory agenda and ensure that the lives and rights of LGBTQ people are protected under US law?
I will flat out just change the law, eliminate those executive orders, number one. You may recall, I'm the guy who said, I was raised by a man who, I remember I was being dropped off. My dad was a high school educated, well-read man who was a really decent guy, and I was being dropped off to get an application in the center of our city, Wilmington, Delaware, the corporate capital of the world at the time. And these 2 men, I'm getting out to get an application to be a lifeguard in the African-American community because there was a big swimming pool complex. And these 2 men, well-dressed, leaned up and hugged one another and kissed one another. I'm getting out of the car at the light, and I turned to my dad. My dad looked at me and said, Joey, it's simple. They love each other. The idea that an 8-year-old child or a 10-year-old child decides, I decided I want to be transgender. That's what I think I'd like to be. It'll make my life a lot easier. There should be 0 discrimination. And what's happening is too many transgender women of color are being murdered. They're being murdered. I mean, I think it's up to now 17. Don't hold me to that number, but it's higher now.
Yeah.
And that's just this year. And so I promise you, there is no reason to suggest that there should be any right denied your daughter or daughters, whichever, if 1 or 2, your daughter, that your other daughter has a right to be and do. None.
Okay,
0.
There you go. Get him out.
And by the way,
get him out of here. Get him out, man. This is so. I know you about to pull it, but you folks that voted, shame on you because you went. Oh, you know what? Everybody who voted for Biden, or any one of these devils, in a sense, in the greater sense, but look at what you voted for. You want this man to be in there and go, you know what? I'm gonna change the law. How's that work? How's it work? Why are you, if you are a person that voted for this man, what you just did was line up in agreements with something that's against the Most High.
It's funny, a lot of that stuff, that transgender stuff that they're talking about, y'all act like that's something that's new. That's nothing new. The Bible even speaks on that. And you know what's sad about that is some of you so-called Christians or whatever, you want to call yourself a follower of Christ. See, whenever you're voting for people like that, what you're voting for their agenda, which means you are accessory to the crime, which means when you're accessory to the crime, that means you could get charged. Mm-hmm. Because when the Most High charged, when he sent his son to Christ, you're going to get charged for that. But let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 14, we'll start at verse 24. It's going to show you something.
The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 24.
Go ahead.
They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled.
You see that? They neither kept marriages, because marriage is honorable. Okay, they never kept it undefiled. They want to keep defiling it, like they're doing today with breaking moral laws. Go ahead.
But either one slew another treacherously, or grieved him by adultery.
By adultery, because that's the basic is a crime against marriage. Go ahead.
So that there reign in all men without exemption blood, manslaughter.
You seeing that today? Go ahead.
Theft, and dissimulation, corruption.
Because the government's corrupt. He just said he was going to change the law.
They're happy with that law.
Yes, they're going to change that law. No opposition on that. You know what? You want to know why? Because the LBG community has political clout. And people fear that because they fear if they speak out against it, they're going to destroy you financially. Okay, go ahead.
Unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury.
You see how tumult's going on today. Look at what's going on with the civil unrest. And perjury is lying. A lot of lies. Go ahead.
Disquieting of good men.
Because good men are trying to keep commandments. They're going to disquiet good men, speak evil of people trying to keep the commandments. That's what they're doing today. Go ahead.
Forgetfulness of good turns.
See, forgiveness because they don't want to keep the laws of God. They want to keep the laws of man. He just told you he's going to change. He told you what his agenda is. Go ahead.
Defiling of souls. Changing of kind.
Changing of kind. That's what you're doing when you're in the transgender community. What you're doing, you're changing the way God created you to be. If you're a man, you want to switch up and be a woman. If you're a woman, you want to switch up and be a man. That's something that's man-made stuff. It isn't something that God created. Go ahead.
Disorder in marriages.
That's what we're talking about. Same-sex marriages. Disorder in marriages. Okay? A lot of those things are going on today. Go ahead.
Adultery. And shameless uncleanness.
Shameless uncleanness. You see these things all over the streets. A lot of things that happen. This place right here is modern-day Sodom and Gomorrah. Straight up.
And just like Deacon Tawar was saying, you gotta have somebody like Biden to come in there who just basically if you can't see the Most High is in control of all things and the setup is right there for everybody to just roll off into straight Sodom, like the Bible says in Revelation 11. All right, this place is Sodom in Egypt, and you have to realize something. They'll go to that man's law. They're happy with it going to his law.
Yep.
To try to change things up and to do stuff. When you go to the Most High's laws, what happens? People want to get rid of them because what the Most High laws does is rebuke you for your wickedness.
And I gotta say this too. Like when me and Deacon Tawab was on the way over, coming over today, getting ready for class, we was having a conversation, and it trips me out once again. And I made this statement before: how can anybody come against this book right here? I mean, the same people that of course, once again, don't subscribe to this book and have a problem with what this book says, can't come against nothing that's coming out of it. I mean, what book do you know of that can show you things that happened in the past, things that's going on in the present, and things that's going to happen in the future? There's only one book that can do that, and we're sitting here in front of it. But I'm going to read this, and I know we always save this for next month for of course, the Maccabean week. But look at what's going on now, and I'm going to read this. It's First Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 15 real quick. It says, moreover, it says how they had made for themselves a senate house. It says wherein 320 men sat in council daily. That's going on now. And it says consulting a way for the people to the end they might be well ordered. So verse 16 is the point. It says, and that they committed their government to one man every year who ruled over all their country. It says, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy or emulation among them. That's going into the presidents right now. Just like for anybody that makes statement, they only voted for this man because they want to get Trump out of the White House or whatever the case may be, you in agreements with homosexuality.
Exactly.
You put your name on the line to endorse same-sex marriage. That's just one of the wicked things that this man is putting out there. But at the end of the day, this man's political system is just wicked anyway. The ruler that we're waiting on, or, the governor that we're waiting on, is Christ. And you read about that, in Matthew, the 2nd chapter. It shows you who's going to be that governor over Israel. Only Christ can rule over us.
And that goes to show you Van Jones, he's madness too. He doesn't really understand because he tried to make a comment stating that, this government hasn't been done and haven't been seen and stuff like that in the world. And you're just realizing that it goes right back to the core fundamentals. He's supposed to be learned. But everybody that's operating underneath this man's system is within an illusion. All right. Remember, this is a broad way. The Lord say the broad leadeth to destruction. All right. So you want to understand what you're doing out here. Go back to 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, and verse
3 again.
3 again.
2nd Esdras, chapter 7 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And I said, Speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow, like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it, and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad?
So imagine. So now the picture is painted for us. We know sea is transposed into the multitude of the people mixed together. He said now this is set in a dangerous place, right? This is where it's set. Now imagine you have to go through all this doctrine, political doctrines, religious doctrines, and everything that's out in the world today. There is only one way, so it's narrow. In order for you to get the kingdom, which then becomes rulership and broad for you, you have to go through the narrow first to open up into the passages of having the kingdom. Keep that in mind. Come on.
Verse 6. There is also another thing.
Come on.
A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. Verse 7.
Wait a minute. A city is builded. Go to Psalms 122 and verse 3. Put this down in y'all notes. This is a precept. Psalms 122 and verse 3. A city is builded. All right. A city is builded and set upon a broad field.
The book of Psalms, chapter 122 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Jerusalem
Come on.
is builded as a city that is compacted together.
So Jerusalem is builded as a city that is compacted together. What that means is all of the tribes, all of the diversity and everything that people love, trying to love about America, you find that in the tribes that was scattered everywhere. The Most High is a mastermind. You don't think the Most High is, okay, put the tribes right here. They're scattered. Okay. Well, all that diversity that people talk about of America will be in the kingdom. It will be in the tribes from all over the place. We're scattered everywhere. So Jerusalem, read it again for them.
Verse 3. Jerusalem is builded as a city that is compacted together.
Uh-huh.
Whether the tribes go up, the tribes of the Lord, unto the testimony of Israel.
To the tribes go to the testimony, which is Christ. Come on.
To give thanks.
To give thanks. So we're not going out in the streets like something, NBA championship was won or whatever, giving thanks and clapping and people jumping around, hugging, running around with rainbow flags and all kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, just complete madness is out there. You have to realize right now it seemed like let them do whatever they want to do. All things is good. People are in their highest level of happiness. Wait till the reality sets in. Underneath this man's system and his watch, I don't care what person you put in that seat, our people is still going to have the same plight. Let's go back.
Second Esdras, chapter 7 and verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
So it's a dangerous place. Now, let's go to Nahum chapter 3. Nahum chapter 3, whole second Esdras, we're coming back. Second Esdras is a whole topic in itself. Start at verse 1. Matter of fact, you start at verse 4.
Nahum chapter 3 and verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot.
The well-favored harlot. In the comments, it's saying because of the multitude of the of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot. You highlight that. Who is the well-favored harlot? But let me see it. Put in the comments. Put in the comments. Who is the well-favored harlot? Well-favored harlot. Well, let's hold this. Let's go to Revelation 18. We could go to 17. Well, let's go to 18 first. This is well-favored. This man, well-favored harlot, right? Where we going to start at 8?
The Revelation, chapter 18, verse 8. Therefore shall plagues come in one day.
Let's start up above start at verse 5.
Okay. The Revelation, chapter 18, verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities.
Come on.
Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. And
Hold on. No, Mary Magdalene is not the well-favored harlot. This is a similitude of America. Some of you folks that were correct. Come on.
reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, and the cup which she had filled, fill to her double.
Now this ain't Jeremiah saw this too. Jeremiah saw this, and some of you folks got to realize Revelation is not an independent book. It actually it relies on, for you to understand this, to use precepts. All right, that's why a lot of people say that this book is sealed, but it's not sealed. It relies on you to use precepts. Watch this. Come on.
Verse 7, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously.
Well-favored harlot. Come on.
So much torment and sorrow give her.
Come on.
For she said in her heart, I sit a queen.
I sit a queen. Come on.
And am no widow.
And am no widow. Come on.
And shall see no sorrow.
You heard a lot of that rhetoric during these elections, period. Yep. You know, we are America. We have our honor and our history like none other. There's no other place. Okay. Come on.
Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day.
That's why this is a dangerous place to fall, because the Lord going to strike this place. The plagues of this place is going to come in one day. Come on.
Death.
What?
Death.
I mean, do you need a precept for that? Do you need us to give the right exegesis for this? The Lord said death. Come on.
And mourning.
Come on.
And famine.
Come on.
And she shall be utterly burned with fire.
Utterly burned with fire. Come on.
For strong.
For what?
For strong.
Come on.
Is the Lord God who judged her.
So you think we touched on it a little bit last night about the iron and partly iron, partly clay. Miry clay. But the thing is, their iron, that military is strong. So for you simple folks out there that really believe somehow you can mount up guns and go out to war and attack whatever you establishment you thinking, you are sadly mistaken, because this man has been retrofitted with the gift to war. Okay, he's retrofitted for that. The Lord is stronger. So you built up. In your video game, you built up the person you're going against real good. You know, they play these sport games and stuff, and you make them. You play a basketball game, make him how he can dunk. Put him at a level 10. What's his 3-pointers? Put him at a level 10. Yeah, this man is all the way up on the next level. You need the Creator to reset him. The end. Okay, come on.
Verse 9, and the kings of the earth, who had committed fornication,
come on,
and lived deliciously with her.
So you notice the similitude. It said well-favored harlot, and it's using her. It's using her. This is the place where the people, the sea, all right, is congregating and mixed. Come on.
Shall bewail her.
Come on.
And lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Come on.
Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, For in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
Now he get more definitive. He said, not only is just a day, but in 1 hour the Lord is going to be able to wipe this place out. And what the last means is Mayday. Let's just bring it up to modern terminology. Mayday.
Right.
Help. Come on.
Verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her.
Now, you so-called blacks and you so-called Hispanics whose fathers are of Negroid and of Indian descent, you are the children of the slaves. You are the ones that the merchants are selling things to because you own nothing. You are a commodity, and they trade with you all day, every day, just like they did on the stock markets. So they dictate things. When it comes to Christmas, they go, how many black people gonna spend money? Because they know you spend money like none other. They count on that. Thanksgiving, Halloween, Easter, all that. Easter Sunday, suit sales go through the roofs.
Yep.
Hair salons getting money. Because why? Ladies going to go in there. Bruh's going to be in there. You getting your, your little stitched in and everything else sewed in on your head. And they counting on you for money. Where they get them hair products and stuff from? A lot of those hair products is coming from overseas.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, and we're not knocking a person who does that. Stop. That's what we're not going to answer emails on that. We're not knocking if somebody is doing that. What we're showing you is that won't you do it for Passover? Won't you do that for the Lord? Tabernacles, a feast of first fruits. Why wouldn't you do it for the Lord's day, but you're doing it for wicked days? That's really the argument. That's right. Okay, read on.
It says here, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her.
Come on.
For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet.
So this place is the merchants is sad because if you don't buy something from them, they're not making any money. So why is it primarily Babylon the Great when this would happen to them that the facts that they get sad? Why is it? Because we're housed in this place. Okay, read on.
And all thine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men.
Slaves and souls of men should start to come to your mind. Come on.
And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. And all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all.
Dainty and goodly, like politics. Politics, it looks like it's well ordered. It looks like it's well structured, but it's complete chaos. I'm gonna show you something. Go to that Donald Trump video where he was. Matter of fact, let me see if I'm gonna send it to you. It was the video that he came out and announced that he was that he won. I just want to show you. It's supposed to be well ordered, but how could this stuff happen if it's well ordered? Might have been on C-SPAN. You see it? Yeah, that's disrespectful on a whole nother level. Nah, I didn't. You might have to just pull it up. It's like underneath Trump election speech. I'm going to show y'all something. Yeah, it is. You can play that one. You can play the top one. We just want them to see something. I ain't gonna be able to play the whole thing, but yeah, play that real quick and parcel through it. It's supposed to be well ordered, but watch this. Yeah. Let's go.
Well, thank you very much. There's never been anything like it to support our incredible movement. I want to thank the American people for their tremendous support. Millions and millions of people voted for us tonight. And a very sad group of people is trying to disenfranchise that group of people. And we won't stand for it. We will not stand for it. I want to thank the First Lady, my entire family, and Vice President Pence, Mrs. Pence, for being with us, all three of us. And we were getting ready for a big celebration. We were winning everything, and all of a sudden it was just called off. The results tonight have been phenomenal, and we are getting ready. I mean, literally, we were just all set to get outside and just celebrate something that was so beautiful, so good. Such a vote, such a success. The citizens of this country have come out in record numbers. This is a record. There's never been anything like it. To support our incredible movement, we won states that we weren't expected to win. Florida, we didn't win it. We won it by a lot. We won the great state of Ohio. We won Texas. We won Texas by 700,000 votes, and they don't even include it in the tabulations. It's also clear that we have won Georgia. We're up by 2.5% or 117,000 votes with only 7% left. They're never going to catch us. They can't catch us. Likewise,
Pick 'em up.
clearly won
Yeah.
North
You know
Carolina.
that. Get him out of here, man. You know they said that he was on cocaine at one point, so that might be true. But so it's probably Biden. You don't know. Yeah, he sweetened it and everything. I'm the winner. So normally in this man's system, folks, for you folks that are younger, what typically should happen is he should go out and concede. Right. He's not doing that. I posted a video earlier showing that Fox News, a lot of people don't understand, their host was saying that we're not going to call Biden the president-elect. We're not going to call him that. But then the top bosses came in and was like, no, you're going to do that. You're going to do it. So they end up cutting and going right to it. It just show you this place is falling. It's divided. Go back to Nahum. Go back to the book of Nahum. This place is definitely divided. So you have on one end the white evangelical Christian group, Christianity minded. In some ways, though, they're saying they don't want the LGBT community, so they're right on that. They're right on that. You can't right is right and wrong is wrong. Right. They're right by saying, no, you can't do this. But then on the other hand, you have Christianity that they're embracing, which is wrong. So you see what makes this place dangerous? This miry clay is mixed in. You can't say that they're wrong on their stance on abortion or whatever the case may be. They're like, oh, we're pro-life. But you go on the other side, they're like, oh, do whatever you want to do. Live however you want to live. We're going to set in place laws. Then on the other side of the spectrum, you have the people that are saying we want to respect everyone. We don't believe in what they're saying on a lot of levels, but we want to respect everyone. How do you navigate through this maze of destruction? You got to understand this. I'm putting it into your mind state. On one side, in this country, they're going, you know what? No, you cannot be homosexual. God says you cannot. Perfect. Okay. Yet they're in Christianity, white man Jesus madness. On the other side, they're pushing love. You know what? You should love anyone. Biden comes out there and gives that bogus story about 2 African Americans hugging and kissing and all this other stuff. That lady is not even. Why was he even talking to her like that?
How she get her question?
Yeah. Oh.
People in the crowd.
It just show you this stuff is so rigged and set up. And it's ran by witches and warlocks. People who know how to put symmetry out there and do it. You think the colors blue and red is just for no reason? You think they just dreamed up that? You think the donkey and the elephant, all right? You think that's just a symmetry that they put out there just for no reason? An elephant sit down, goodbye. A donkey sit down, goodbye. Come on. Verse 4 again.
Nahum, chapter 3 and verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot.
Come on.
The mistress of witchcrafts.
Come on.
That selleth nations through her whoredoms.
Uh-huh.
And families through her witchcraft.
So it's giving you a breakdown. And let me say this too. For somebody who's ignorant, we got to do this. Every single time we start saying America's Babylon the Great, somebody pops up and says that it's the Vatican. Somebody's going to pop up and say that it's the Arab man. They're going to pop up and say every other thing. But the Vatican, let's just talk about it. The Vatican is a part of this place. You can't separate Rome from this place.
It's an extension.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a part of it. But for you folks that want to battle, let's go to I'm coming right back here. Matter of fact, give me Micah. Give me Micah. I'm just gonna show him something real quick. We know that Edom is called the daughter of Babylon, but just got to prove this point to you real quick for somebody who might be ignorant. Let's go to Micah chapter 4. Start at verse 5.
The book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 5.
Write this down in your notes. This is why we're saying that America is Babylon the Great. It's not ancient Babylon or anything else. Watch this. Come on.
For all people will walk everyone in the name of his God.
By their own ideology, by their own judgments. Come on.
And we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever.
But Israel's going to walk in the name of the Lord our God, our power. You see how it's making it interpersonal? Ours. You can't understand that if you are talking about everyone. Come on.
Verse 6. In that day, saith the Lord,
come on,
I will assemble her that halteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted.
Come on.
And I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation.
Don't make it a strong nation. Just talking about Israel. We was cast far off. You'll make it a strong nation again. All right. We're not going through all the precepts. We run out of time. Come on.
And the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion.
Come on.
From henceforth even forever.
So my question to y'all is the Lord reigning over you, or are you trusting in this man's system? The Lord should reign over you. Come on.
Verse 8. And thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion.
Come on.
Unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion. The kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem.
Period. It ain't for everybody else. It's not. It's going to only be for the children of Israel, the kingdom. Come on.
Now, why doest thou cry out aloud?
Come on.
Is there no king in thee?
Come on.
Is thy counselor perished?
Is your counselor perished? We got the words. Why are you stuck? Come on.
For pangs have taken thee as a woman in travail.
As a woman in travail. Come on.
Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion.
That's what we in right now. We're in pain and we're in labor. This is the beginning of birth pains right now. All right. We need to be delivered. Come on.
like a woman in travail.
Come on.
For now shalt thou go forth out of the city.
Come on.
And thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon.
Uh-huh.
There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thy enemies.
So did that happen in ancient Babylon? That's what we keep asking people. If you go to ancient Babylon, this is how you know it's talking about some other place. Because if you go, let's go there real quick, Daniel 5. Let's go to Daniel 5. This is the easiest thing for y'all to understand. Daniel 5. Yep. Daniel 5 and verse 29. Write this down in your notes. Some of y'all should have this, but a lot of folks living in this is a dangerous place, and there's so many ideologies coming to them. Daniel 5 and verse 29.
The book of Daniel, chapter 5, verse 29.
Uh-huh.
Then commanded Belteshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him, that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. And that night was Belteshazzar the king of the Chaldees slain.
So Israel is in Babylon system. They're trapped because Belshazzar took the holy relics and partied with it and all kind of stuff. He did all kind of things to what the Most High told Israel to put in the holies of holies. He did all kind of things. Remember, the handwriting showed up on the wall. Now judgment is going forward. Come on.
Verse 31. And Darius the Median took the kingdom.
Wait a minute. So Darius the Median, Darius is a Japhite. Darius the Median, this is the beginning of the Medo-Persian Empire, took the kingdom. Well, didn't we almost die in the Medo-Persian Empire? Wasn't all Jews about to be wiped out? So how is it that we got delivered from Babylon? It's impossible. How did we get delivered? You don't see it. Darius the Mede took the kingdom. Come on.
Being about 62 years old.
Let's go back to Nahum. So now you, in your mind, you should be understanding, wait a minute. Yes, we need to be delivered from Babylon the Great. That's why Micah, the Lord allowed us to see that glimpse of how we're going to be saved. We're going to have our own government, and we're not going to be worried about the parlor tricks. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be worried about the guise of somebody trying to bring in homosexuality when your kids is around or whatever the case may be. That is not the way of God. And for some of you brothers and you sisters have repented of that. All praises to the Most High for that, man. All praises to the Most High. You see the glorious pictures that you're posting up. It's beautiful. You see one lady, post up a picture. She got a short cut, fade.
Yep.
I saw another lady had a high top fade, jeans, Jordans on, little designer belt.
All praises she repented. All praises.
Next picture, boom. You can't even tell. You don't even know.
Yeah.
All right.
New creature.
They going through. I mean, I'm not gonna communicate it, but a lot of you folks that's been reaching out, I know you're battling, but you better continue to stay in the fight. All right. Let's go back. Nahum, let's read that again.
Nahum, chapter 3, verse 4. Because the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft,
come on,
that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts.
Through her witchcrafts, come on.
Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I would destroy thy skirts upon thy face. Discover thy skirts upon thy face.
Discover the skirt. So imagine if a woman's walking and their skirt go over their head. You see everything.
Right.
The Lord say He's going, and that's shameful too.
Right.
That's a shame.
Yep.
So the Lord say He's going to discover it, but that's showing you shame also goes because Babylon the Great is ran by Edom. And He say shame going to cover them. Come on.
And I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame.
Come on.
and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock.
Uh-oh. So that's why we keep saying the Most High is in control of all things. You don't know what the Most High is set up because this man is in office or coming in office or whatever the case may be, and they might take all the seats and all the power. If that's the case, people gonna be able to marry llamas and
Yeah.
dogs and
Incest. You can be able to marry your own people.
pedophilia.
Yeah.
All kind of things open up now.
Yeah, because they're gonna say, well, you can't judge how a person loves, so he loves his cousin. He loves this. So they're gonna start. I'm just saying. They're already doing it already, right? Yeah, they've been doing this since
Read on.
In verse 7, and it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan thee?
Come on.
Which should I seek comforters for thee?
So a lot of people, when they look and they see the word Nineveh here, they exclusively detach this verse from anybody in the future that's doing wickedness. They detach it from the understanding that God did not like them, what they were doing. They detach from that, and they go, well, that was just them. You don't see the same similitude here. And another thing about Nineveh, when you start looking at the prophet Jonah, how he ran, a lot of y'all are running from the Most High calling you back into the truth. A lot of y'all just don't want to do it. But you're seeing you have no choice. The Most High is going to set forth destruction. All right? Come on.
Verse 8, art thou better than Populus? No, that was situate among the rivers that had the waters round about it, whose rampart was the sea, and her wall was from the sea.
That's why you don't have spirituality in your body, because you don't understand.
Ramparts.
This man uses this for the national
the Star-Spangled Banner.
Banner.
Yep, the ramparts.
He uses this
Yep.
from sea to shining sea. So, but you got to understand what's going on. Watch this. Come on.
Verse 9, Ethiopia and Egypt were her strength,
Uh-oh, come on.
and it was infinite. Put and Lubium were thy helpers, yet was she carried away.
So out of their lands, they got struck too, but mostly who helped America build this place was the Hamites by selling Israel, because you get this old thing about Israel going back to Africa, Blacksit, and most other different parts, not realizing you're not African.
Yep.
That's a matter of fact. It's listen, to call yourself an African is a derogatory terminology. Because those people, they got names. Ethiopian,
Yep.
the Egyptians. Boy, you just gonna blanket them and say that they're Africans? That doesn't make any sense. All right, come on.
Verse 10, yet was she carried away, she went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets.
Come on.
And they cast lots for her honorable men. And all her great men were bound in chains.
This was happened to Israel, okay? The other nations did this. Come on. So the Lord going to play. Remember we just read in Revelation, they're going to get paid back double. All right, watch this. Come on.
Verse 11, thou also shalt be drunken. Thou shalt be hid. Thou also shalt seek strength because of the enemy.
Because of the enemy, come on.
All thy strongholds shall be like fig trees with the first stripe, figs.
Come on.
If they be shaken, they shall even fall into the mouth of the eater.
Come on.
Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women.
Wait a minute. What does the Bible say?
Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women.
Why is it saying that? Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. You have to understand what this Bible is speaking on a very high level, similitude. What does it mean? The people in the midst of thee are women. What does that mean? Put in the comment boards. All right. Read on.
The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies.
The gates of the land is set wide open unto our enemies. Now you don't even realize the similitude that's being placed before you. You are set in the presence of your enemies. This is a wide place to fall. It's a dangerous place. All right. This place is so wide that people have their own ideologies. All over. It's spilling over the other countries. The so-called Arab man, the Chinese man, all the stuff. You've seen civil unrest this whole time for the last 8 or 9 months. People in China was trying to set people on fire and all kind of stuff. You've seen in Lebanon explosions. Everything is happening, but you refuse to really be spiritual and understand to come back to the Bible. Read it again.
It says here, behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of thy land should be set wide open unto thy enemies.
They're using our women to destroy our men, making them weak-minded. Listen, that's in a sense true, but understand women as a whole. It's talking about doctrines. Some of y'all know that, different doctrines, and putting forth doctrines upon Israel, because Israel's compared to a woman. All right, we supposed to have the true doctrine, but this woman is the well-favored harlot. That's what you should have put in there. This woman right here is the well-favored harlot. Come on.
It says, behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies. The fire should devour thy bars. Draw thee waters for the siege. Fortify thy strongholds. Go unto the clay.
Go unto the clay. Come on.
And tread mortar. Make strong the brickland. There shall the fire devour thee. The sword shall cut thee off. It shall eat thee up like the cankerworm. Make thyself many as the cankerworm. Make thyself many as the locust.
So that's going into a prophecy of terrorism. Let me just say it like that. I'm not going too far into it. America is being set up. The place is being set up. It's very dangerous right now. All the components to ignite is here. You got the political opponent, upheaval. You have the right wing, the left wing. You have a community that's rallied together for pride, white supremacy. You have the lewdness in everybody else, and you have the Israelites teaching the truth for our people to come back and come out of madness. That's the key element that you should really understand. That's the figs starting to bloom. Okay, let's go back to 2nd Esdras.
Second Esdras, chapter 7, verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
Come on.
And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be one man go there at once.
What that simply means is you're responsible for yourself. No one can save anyone. You can't save your wife. You can't save your cousin, your sister, your brother. You have to go through this and be tested. You're the only one, all right, that you have to fight to be delivered, all right, through Christ. Christ is the key, because what happens is you don't realize something. What the Lord did was shine a light on being in a place like Rome, spiritually Rome, and how you conduct yourself and operate. You don't understand there was all type of lewdness going on in Rome? That's why you have Romans 1. All right, Paul is reiterating it of all the things that's happening. Very lewd, very dangerous. But there was one thing Paul understood, that there was going to be a falling away first so that the man of sin can be revealed. So it wasn't at their time. They had Rome. Rome head is wounded. The beast is risen up again, and now starting to lay his claws in every fashion in this world.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you don't pay attention, you will fall susceptible. That's why all the communication devices and everything else, this place is pushing complete lewdness. If you brothers or sisters is dealing with high level lust, you might not want to have these type of devices. All right? You might want to get rid of your computer or whatever the case may be. Do whatever you got to do, because you have to understand, escape willful sin. Escape it.
That's right.
Okay? Read on.
Okay. Verse 9. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive the inheritance?
If you cannot pass the danger, if someone's telling you that you don't have to even keep commandments, you have that in Israel. People who should have known the truth
Right.
are now going to people saying you don't have to keep commandments, which knowledgeably you would go, wait a minute, excuse me, we was put into captivity and enslaved because we rebelled against God's commandments. Now you're telling me the most simple, easy things to do, we don't do that no more. You don't keep feast days, nothing, you don't have to do anything. What that ultimately is, folks, is back to Christianity mode.
That's right.
You just say that you love God, and that's it. You're a child of God. I'm a child of God, that's it. Meanwhile, live wickedly or whatever you're doing. Listen, if you hear people saying that, if you see someone saying that, understand they have the spirit of Satan on them, because you don't find in this book, nowhere in this book, where Satan is telling you to keep God's commandments.
That's right.
He's telling you not to keep it by tricky and doing real crafty analogies with what God said. He showed you that back in the beginning in Genesis. Satan, because you can ask somebody the question, did Satan lie? When he said you shall surely not die, did he lie? What he did was rolled out a half truth.
Yep.
And we know the half truth is a lie. So you have to understand, if you didn't understand the words, guess what? You're tricked. Because did she die immediately? No, she did not. They didn't die immediately. Okay? But the Most High ultimately set for judgment. Now all people die. This is where the high level trickery is at, but it will not happen again underneath Christ's watch. That's why you have to have the Lord embedded into you. Okay, read that part again.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 9. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
How are you going to receive the inheritance? The inheritance is for the Lord's people, the Israelites. Okay? Hebrews 1 in verse 1. Oh, so we out of time. Well, come on.
Hebrews chapter 1, verse 1. God, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in times past unto the fathers by the prophets,
Come on.
hath in these last days
Come on.
spoken unto us by his Son, whom he have appointed heir of all things.
Spoken to us by his Son, who he have appointed heir of all things. Come on.
By whom also he made the worlds.
By whom also he made the worlds. You're not going to get around the Lord being in control. He's testing us now. He's going to test to see if we really going to operate the correct way in this dangerous place to fall. Back to 2nd Ezra. We're being tested 100%. You got to make sure you make up your mind. You can't be lukewarm. You got to be hot or cold, as the Lord says. You can't be lukewarm. This is impossible. All right. Jump down to verse 66, I want to say.
66.
Chapter 2nd Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 66.
2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 66. and that he is of great mercy.
So the Most High is of great mercy. This is what has is bestowed upon us. Mercy, meaning you have time to get yourselves together. Come on.
For he multiplied more and more mercies to them that are present,
Come on.
and that are past, and also to them which are to come.
Come on.
And if he shall not multiply his mercies, the world would not continue with them that inherit therein.
Come on.
And he pardoneth, for if he did not so of his goodness, that they which have committed iniquities might be eased of them, the 10,000th part of men should not remain
living. Do you realize that? There are people running around here talking about mercy and grace and not realizing that's an opportunity, just an opportunity to get yourself together before judgments hit. If it was just going to be just mercy and grace, the Lord does not need to return. That's right. And he's going to return because this place is set up to behind wickedness. We just showed you a clip of somebody saying, well, we're going to change the laws so that you can have, and then now there's a transgender person in the office and all kind of stuff. Come on.
Verse 69, and being judged,
come on.
if he should not forgive them that are cured with his word.
That's how you're cured, with the word. Come on.
And put out a multitude of contentions.
And put out the multitude of contentions. That's what you have on the earth. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody thinks that's how something should be ran, instead of going, nope, it's ran how God says to run it. The end. Case closed. Don't need no democracy. Don't need no votes. None of that. God said to run like this. We're running like this. The end. That's right. But men don't want that. Therefore, the Lord's going to put out the multitude of contentions. And we know only by pride come in contention. So all you prideful folks, bye-bye. Read.
Verse 7, there should be very few left peradventure in an innumerable multitude.
So, read verse 68 again.
2nd Ezra chapter 7 verse 68. And he pardoneth, for if he did not so of his goodness, that they which have committed iniquities might be eased of them, the 10,000th part of men shall not remain living.
Come on.
And being judged, if he should not forgive them that are cured with his word, and put out the multitude of contentions.
So if you are cured with the words of this book, the words of Christ, which lets you understand keeping the commandments is at a high level. If you're not cured with that, guess what? You have a sickness. You have a disease. That disease is called sin, willful sin. You have to come out of that mind state and return back to the word. Then you're cured. Read.
Verse 70. There should be very few left peradventure in an innumerable multitude.
There should be very few left peradventure in an innumerable multitude. The Bible says that multitude is going to be turned to dust. If we're not getting ourselves together, shame on us, because you're living in the last days, and especially in a dangerous place to fall. The book of Acts chapter 5 and verse 29.
The book of Acts chapter 5 verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men.
Yeah, definitely a part 2 must be done. I mean, but as Deacon Tawab said, we barely get to part 2s because there's so much things going on. But Lord say the same, we do. All praises to the Most High in Christ for allowing us to, at least at very best, go over the scriptures to understand some part about escaping this dangerous place, man, because a lot of people is not there. It's a number of multitude that's going to be destroyed. All praises to the Most High in Christ. You folks stay strong, all right? Stay continually praying up, all right? Because guess what? If you don't, you can fall susceptible to this place. Visit the website, IsraeliteSaintsOfChrist.org. Okay, continue to endure. I know it's a lot of things going on, but the Most High is in control of all things. We see you. We see your messages. Lord's will, we get to you. All right. All praises to the Most High in Christ. With that, we say shalom, y'all.